Welcome to Ideas Consulting Group. In our endeavor to learn from journals like Harvard Business Review, we have undertaken this initiative of converting lessons which we believe are of relevance to short video lessons like the one we are going to have now. This article appeared in HBR South Asia in the year 2016, September. The title of the article has been The Elements of Value, and it has been co-authored by several distinguished people working with Bain and Company, Eric, John, and Nicholas. We believe that the context of this article in the pandemic situation is even more enhanced. Given the fact that people are facing different types of challenges in managing their finances and life, we believe that products and services which can deliver on all the four needs, or at least most of them, will be successful and will be able to garner greater acceptance from customers. The authors mention that products and services, they address four kinds of needs: functional, emotional, life-changing, and social impact. Some of these needs are inward to the customer and his personal needs, and some of it is external for the customer to navigate the external complexities. Marketers have always faced this balancing between value versus price. We at Ideas Consulting subscribe to this wholeheartedly, and we believe that nothing is expensive, nothing is inexpensive. At whatever price point a customer buys a product or a service, it is ultimate a value for money at that price point. And what is valuable to the customer is extremely difficult to pinpoint. However, there are variety of combinations that we need to look at while doing so in terms of defining what we call the value proposition. It could be a new combination of values in the current markets or opening up new markets with the current value proposition. In a research which was conducted in the US with nearly 10,000 consumers, and where questions were asked online about 50 US based companies, it has been conclusively proven that value perception definitely helps companies to grow revenues. First of all, companies that performed well on multiple elements of value had more loyal customers. All of us are aware that retaining a customer is much less expensive than every time acquiring a new one. Second, what companies have done in terms of multiple elements to the main basic proposition has grown revenue at fast, quickly. Example is Amazon. We are all familiar with Amazon. The initial offering from Amazon was very different from what we see in Amazon today. Amazon Prime, which was established in 2005, was basically for with the objective of reducing cost and saving time, which today we know is including media, which gives us access to fun and entertainment, and of course Amazon photo storage, which is reducing risk, and host of other features that we can think of, which is offered by Amazon. And it has been proven through data that every new element attracted a large group of customers, and which helped Amazon to build the brand further. What is important in this exercise is to understand the pattern of value, and the value side of the equation must translate to successful business performance. It begins with what is the perceived quality. A perceived quality is something which definitely impacts customer advocacy, and it varies from industry to industry. And therefore, what are the critical elements of quality perception is something which the industry player must understand. For example, in case of food and beverage industry, Sensory appeal is very important for value proposition. For banking, for example, how easy or difficult access and heirloom. That means the the fortune being passed down generation is very important for consumer banking. For example, in smartphones, ease of connectivity, saving time, how easily can you organize fun and entertainment becomes important. Digital firms, of course, have this perception that they save time, they avoid hassles, and today in the pandemic situation, they are also keeps reduces the risk of contamination and catching the infection. However, brick and mortar businesses have their own emotional life-changing elements, which they score very high on badge value, attractiveness, affiliation, belonging. And a simple example is there are customers who prefer that they are supported by employees when they are in a retail environment in order to help them make their choices and make decisions. Now, retailers providing that score high in case of such customers. That may not be relevant to a customer who's more used to online shopping. Now, ultimately, all this must work for the business and it must solve business challenges and address revenue growth. What is important that before any organization overhauls its products or services, one should go back to the basic in terms of what are the elements which are most important in their industry, and against those elements, how do organizations stack up against their company. If a company falls short on these crucial elements, it is of no use doing anything else unless you correct them. Example, if you are in the airline industry, one of the critical aspects of quality is flying on time, punctuality. If any airline is not doing that itself, anything else it does is of no relevance, because that's one of the fundamental reasons or perception of quality that an airline can drive. Organizations, if they really want to talk of value proposition for their customers, to retain them, to get more customers, to make customers talk about their brand and customer advocacy, they must make value hunt a priority within the organization. And a discipline must be set within the organization around 4 basic framework. First, new product development. When we talk of new product development, the first thing which comes to mind is doing something which does not exist. While that will remain and that you will accept is not a daily phenomenon, what one must focus on is what can I do new for what I am doing currently. For example, can I connect with my customers in a new way? Is there a way that I can integrate software applications involved? Let me give 2 examples from the healthcare sector. Today, if you undergo a pathology test, you receive your report on the email or on the mobile phone. That's integrating the software with the offerings. Earlier, the physical report used to come. Second, again in the healthcare sector today, because of the COVID situation, lot of companies, a lot of hospitals have been forced to start online OPD consultation. Now, that's again a very interesting way of looking at patient care and patient excellence, because people who can't come to the hospital, people who are doing a follow-up visit with the physician can avail of that. Next is pricing. One of the ways of increasing the value is to increase the price. However, just increasing the price while doing nothing on the value proposition, value equation will be disastrous. What one means by this is if the value equation goes up by X, the price can go up by X plus. So what is the additional price that the customer is willing to pay for an additional value equation which one can create for the customer? There are several examples, especially in the automobile sector, where the different variants of the same brand have a higher price with marginally evolved value equation. Next comes customer segmentation. It is important for us to understand which customer segment wants which value and what is being currently delivered by the brands which are options for that customer group to purchase versus what is not being delivered. So it is important that we must realize that this segmentation is actually the foundation of creating the value equation, and then that price value equation falls into place if the segmentation is right. And last but not the least is customer psychology. We are aware of Maslow's needs of hierarchy, where it is the basic shelter, food, etc., comes at the lowest level, and self-actualization comes at the highest level. The belief is you cannot be at the highest level unless you have met the lowest level, which is true. And therefore, how does one use this customer psychology in order to raise the value equation? Let me give an example. There are a lot of apparel brands which are actually which are known by the designers that they make, and they charge humongous amount of premium over the so-called branded yet non-designer brands that are available. And this is an example of customer psychology, where the customer believes that if I am wearing a garment stitched by a designer who is extremely well known, my value as an individual goes up, and therefore the customer psychology plays a very important role in enhancing the value of the customer. In a nutshell, in the current situation and even as we go forward, it is important that organizations for their products and services focus on value and must be driven by value if they really want to grow their revenues, capture new markets, capture new customers, and most importantly, keep the current customers loyal and glued to their products and services. In order to retain customers also, one company has to relentlessly challenge this value equation and improve it for people to continue to use the product and services. Thank you for your time. We appreciate and value your business.